Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Closing Comments here on January 21st. Let's jump right into our charts and see what happened in the markets today. First up, we got our April live cattle on the board. Another nice day of balance action here as the bulls continue to show their support for this market. Prices did hang steady once again right around that 20-day moving average as we continue to see some good buyer activity. We did see Bryce briefly break down below that prior day's low off that opening range as price did flush down there towards 233 here on this April contract, but immediately getting bought back up and showing good support throughout the remainder of the day. Price is putting up some pressure here on this 235.45 level, which was our prior day high, and coming real close to it here again today as well, with the high coming in at 235.40. Prices continue to balance out and tighten up here right around the major support lines. If we get some bids rolling tomorrow above 235.5, that should get this market rocking and rolling to the upside. And from there, it should be a pretty quick snap right up here to that prior week's point of control, right around 238.25. And if we continue to get some bids above that, we should see pretty smooth sailing on up there into the 240s. The uptrend remains alive and well, and we should see the upside continue here in this live cattle market. Next up, March feeders also seeing some good support today. Prices did test the bottom end of yesterday's range, but showing good support once again and getting a nice drive right up here through that 359 bull pivot. Price did reach up to a high of the day at 360.25 before settling back and finishing right on top of that bull pivot for the week. Bulls getting the ball rolling higher a little bit here today, and we should see them carry that momentum into tomorrow's session and keep this feeder market moving higher as well. The uptrend remains alive and well here in this feeder market too, and we should see the upside continue to climb up there and start targeting this overhead gap just above 370, and we should see some pretty smooth sailing here if the bulls are able to keep those bids coming in above 359 as we head into tomorrow's session. Next up, our March corn futures, seeing a little bit of back and forth action here today. Prices did briefly poke above our bull pivot at 427.25 today before seeing some rejection, finishing back down below that prior day low. Prices continue to turn around down here right around 4.25 as this corn market is digesting this recent breakdown from last week and continuing to chop up down here at these overextended levels. Look for this choppy action to continue down here with that rejection of that 427.25 level today. Looking like the bears could start to get some downside rolling here in this corn market once again. Look for continued downside below today's low at 421.25 to have the bears attacking this bear pivot at 419.75. From there, it should see this corn market start to head down there towards these contract lows. Next up, crude oil prices showing more support here today. Prices did trade in kind of a wider range day, taking out both pivot points from yesterday. Good buyer support though here today as prices got some bids rolling above 60.05 and finishing above that prior day high. At the moment, looking like the bulls are going to keep on pushing this market a little bit higher. Look for them to come back up here towards that prior week's high right around 62.5. That's going to be the spot where we're going to see this market keep chopping back and forth between. Prices remain pretty comfortable here around the $60 mark, so look for some good choppy action here anywhere between 59 and 62 over the near term. The bulls need to get some offers rolling above that bids rolling above 62.5 and get some acceptance above that 200-day moving average, and from there we could see a little bit of a spike, but until we can get a close above 62 last week's high, which was 62.36, we should see this thing just kind of keep chopping up here in the low 60s. Next up, our equity indexes seen some good back and forth action the last couple days. Yesterday's big breakdown was immediately bought up here today. Prices opening up and seeing some good bids rolling in off that opening range, pushing higher. Brief retest of that opening range during the middle part of the day had this market finding some good support down there near 68.50 and reclaiming that bear pivot at 68.66 and driving all the way up to 69.40 at the high of the day, closing back above that 50-day moving average here on the S&P. NASDAQ also getting back above that prior day high and briefly testing the 20-day average from below. We need to see these indexes continue to show buyer support and get some bids rolling above today's highs to get that upside going again. From there, we could see this NASDAQ index try and test 26,000 again. But yesterday's big breakdown still is a little bit of a cause for concern. We encourage everyone to remain defensive here, see how we finish out this week. If we do see a sustainable rally into the close for the week, we should see some more upside continue and try and get that uptrend back on track. But right now, we're kind of seeing a little bit of weakness here in a couple of these indexes. The Dow continues to be the leader for strength as it did close back above that 20-day average today. So we are still seeing some good buyer support in that Dow index. However, the NASDAQ needs to clean some of this mess up and make some new weekly highs before we really start to feel comfortable here. In the meantime, we still could see a little bit of defensive or corrective movement. Encourage everyone to just play it safe here. And if we do start to move back down below the opening range lows for the year, we could see some more downside come from there. But in the meantime, this market has just been pretty choppy here over the last couple months, and we could see this choppy action continue right around these major moving averages. We want to see this market finish the week out on a high note and climb back up here into some bullish territory before we really get back on the bull train. But in the meantime, look for some more choppy action continue, and be cautious if we do get some bids coming down here, or offers below 68.66 here on the S&P, as we could see some more downside come from there. But in the meantime, look for this market to try and gather some more support around these major moving averages. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.